So as I'm sure anybody that's watching this already has heard about, and I actually want to talk about this very first part right here. So Shannon Sharp was on Undisputed, his show with Skip Bayless, which I love because Skip Bayless is dumb, and I enjoy the
He's I
interactions
hate Skip.
and the reactions of Shannon Sharp. I just like Skip. I love it, bro. It's like my favorite thing in the world. Come on, Skip.
Come on,
His
Skip.
lisp, his lisp kills me. Anyways, Skip Bayless was talking about Julio Jones and this and that and being traded to the Cowboys. And so Shannon Sharp calls Julio, cold calls him. I'm 98% sure that Julio Jones did not know this was on TV. Shannon Sharp calls this man and says, Are you going to stay in Atlanta? And Julio he literally was talking about how he was hanging out with his uncle or something like that. I can't remember the conversation exactly. Or maybe he called Shannon Sharp uncle. I don't know. But he was doing something with his boys. And Shannon Sharp is just like, Are you going to stay in Atlanta? And he was like, Nah, I'm out of there. And then he asked him about the Cowboys, and Julio kind of laughed and said, I want to go somewhere where I can win. And then that was the
Ooh.
end of the conversation. And I'm just like, first of all, Shannon Sharp, you're a dickhead for that, bro. Like you published because apparently it came out that the trade request was made like 2 months ago, way before the draft, and the Falcons are kind of. I'm imagining that they're waiting for June 1st,
Yeah.
because of the contract stuff. But they've already knew about this. They've already been working on it behind the scenes. They're working with Julio Jones to put him somewhere where he wants to be, out of respect for what he's done for the Falcons over the last decade. But it's just it's just I don't know why Shannon Sharp did that. That was funny. It seems like that would be staged, but it just sounded like the conversation, the way Julio and them were talking back and forth. It sounded like Shannon Sharp just called Julio and said, "What's up?" Like a regular conversation. It was
Yeah.
super weird. Um, and Skip Bayless seemed shocked that Julio even answered the question. It was really really interesting. But yeah, he wants out. He wants out of there, which is not surprising. They went to the Super Bowl and they just have completely fallen apart.
Yeah.
Atlanta's asking for a first round pick. Well, before the draft, leading up to the draft, they were trying to get a first round pick, and I'm sure they still are. But most people around the league are saying that's not going to happen. You're more likely going to trade a couple second rounders or maybe like a combination of some later round picks and maybe a player. But um, yeah, I mean, just like, what do you make of him wanting out of Atlanta? It's just always blows my mind when players seem fine and then all of a sudden they're just like, I want to leave, you know?
Just kind of comes out of nowhere. Like
Yeah,
almost the same thing as like Aaron Rodgers. Like you think everything's okay, and
right.
then out of nowhere, it's just like a
It all
star wants to
seems,
leave the team.
yeah, it all just seems like media speculation. And then out of nowhere, the player themselves is just like, oh, no, yeah, that's true. It's, you just think
Yeah.
it's all media. Like, even so many Packers fans were like, oh, bro, that's just clickbait, bro. They're just trying to get clicks. And then we'll talk about it later, but it wasn't. Like, Aaron Rodgers definitely is pissed. Um, so it's just funny that, you know, it comes out that way. But
So
we have here
here it
a
is. Yeah.
interesting conversation, man. We're gonna go. I went in. You gotta speculate, boys. You have to. So I searched up the Las Vegas odds. Las Vegas released their odds on where Julio's going to end up for betting purposes, and there's 12 teams, and obviously there's going to be the 3 to 4 lowest teams on the list are usually just like money makers. You kind of throw like $10 in there just in case. They're not realistic at all. But the rest of the teams are. So we're going to kind of one by one this and discuss what Julio Jones would mean for each of these teams. Very interesting. Um, the first one is actually the team that seems to I hear the most. Well, there's a couple teams on here you hear the most, but the Titans, bro. The
Yeah.
Titans are terrifying. Like Jeff knows all about the Titans. All you Ravens fans know about the Titans.
Yeah, we
The
do.
Titans are terrifying with healthy Julio Jones because the whole thing with the Titans and the Ravens exploited this in the postseason. Titans prosper off play action. Derrick Henry going off and then hitting you with the play action. The Ravens weren't scared of the play action because they're like, yo, we have Marcus Peters and we have Marlon Humphrey. AJ Brown's not a problem. We'll 1v1 AJ Brown over there and we're going to fill the box. So the play action is not going to work. So they stuffed Derrick Henry. There was no play action. They won the game. But you put Julio out there as well. Now you gotta be a little bit more cautious with your run stuffage, if you know what I'm saying, and kind of
Yeah.
get off the line of
You're
scrimmage a
not going to
little
be able to
bit.
fill the box that easily because, I mean, if you're trying to cover A.J. Brown along with Julio, you might have to sit there in the secondary a little bit. I mean, just
Yeah,
with the Ravens and the Titans example you just gave, I mean, I don't know if it's only going to be, man-on-man coverage, you might have some double teams here and there. Like, I don't know if Marlon and Marcus Peters alone are going to be able to cover those two guys.
yeah, because like let's be honest, AJ Brown is like he's coming, bro. Like, he's really good.
No,
And then
yeah.
Julio, I mean, that's just. And you got Derrick Henry and Tannehill's just like Tannehill is so good. People sleep on Tannehill too much. First of all, Ryan Tannehill is so good. Since he got traded to Tennessee, like the time frame of when he got to Tennessee till like now, I mean, he's like relatively on pace with Patrick Mahomes in most stats, which is crazy. And so you just put Julio Jones in there. I mean, they had the best odds for a reason. That would be
Yeah.
very interesting. Um, Number two on here is weird. I'm not sure why they have such good odds because it's the Falcons, and I'm assuming
Maybe it's
that,
just like
that
the
this,
staying. He's staying there.
yeah, this is on there. Like the Falcons aren't going to find the deal that they want; they just keep him there. But guys, that's not going to happen. You don't like. I mean, Julio Jones obviously hasn't been a dick about this. It came
No.
out in a weird way now, but he brought it up 2 months ago and they agreed to it. Like it's a little bit different than the Aaron Rodgers thing, I think. But Julio Jones was just like, "Yo, it's time for me to move on." They said, "Okay." I think they're gonna follow through. I'd be surprised if he starts the season with the Falcons.
I don't think he is.
Yeah. Bye bye, Julio.
It's just like the difference between him and the Falcons, Julio and the Falcons, like they've already agreed that they're going to part ways. Whereas the
Yeah, and
Packers, I
they
mean, they're
brought
still
in
trying to keep Aaron Rodgers. They're still fighting to keep him. And then Aaron Rodgers is like, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm out of here.
yeah. The Falcons, I mean, they just drafted Kyle Pitt, which by the way, I feel like it makes more sense now drafting Kyle Pitts up there if they
Yeah.
already knew Julio was going to be gone. So,
Yep.
um, yeah, Falcons are in the mud right now, bro. I feel like I don't know. I feel like they should blow the whole thing up and like move on from Matt Ryan also, but they also kind of have to wait until they get another quarterback in there. So it's kind of weird. They're kind of in a weird spot. Like they have a bunch of young players and then old ass Matt Ryan. So it's kind of interesting there. But yeah, he's not going back there, Vegas. Come on now. Team number three.
This
This
is
is the one that you
interesting.
hear. This is the one you've heard the most about. Apparently, Julio Jones has a high interest in playing with Cam Newton, which is interesting to me. And you can let me know how you feel about this. I mean, Cam Newton is only there for a maximum of one season, bro. He's gone. Like they just drafted a quarterback 15. Cam's only signed for one season. Let's be honest, he's not coming back. So if you're Julio and you have 3 years left, I don't know about going to the Patriots to play with Cam Newton if he might not even start the whole season.
And not to mention all the wide receivers they just got from free agency. So was that all for nothing? I mean, let alone we're talking about Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne, but
Right.
just in general,
True.
the principle of going out there and getting these wide receivers, like, it's a waste of money now.
Yeah, I mean, if they do get Julio, there's tons of weapons on the field, but it just if he wants to play for the Patriots, that's fine. But if his main reason for playing there is because of Cam Newton, I'm not sure if that makes sense to me because he's not going to be their quarterback for that long at all.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a year. Now unless Julio
Yeah,
plans on retiring after a year, I don't know.
yeah, well, that's true. That would be a shame.
Yeah.
Then we have the team that's just in every fucking trade rumor of all time, the 49ers. Everybody thinks the 49ers, like, yeah, Matt Stafford, 49ers, Aaron Rodgers, 49ers. 49ers are in
Russell
everything,
Wilson.
bro. Russell Wilson, they're always going to be there. They're always going to be an option because, hey, people like California. They want to, I don't blame them. But never seems to actually happen, though. So I'm not really sure about that one. It would be nice for Trey Lance, though, to get Julio over there.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, they got rid of Kendrick Bourne, so it's like, who is their best receiver over there right this second after that? And Julio will
Mm,
be a nice plug.
yeah, they'd have Ayuk. They'd have George Kittle at tight end, and then they have Julio.
Yeah,
I think that's
so
it. I don't.
I
What else
think
they have?
it would make sense for them to do it, even though they're in every
That's
single
true.
trade rumor.
It would make sense, absolutely. Then you have Washington football team. I don't know how realistic that one is because I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how close to winning Washington is right now. Kind of on the fence about that. So if he wants to go somewhere to win, you know, I guess their defense is pretty. I don't know, dude. It's the quarterback situation that's a little bit
It's the
weird to me right
quarterback,
now.
yeah. That's where I'm hung up at.
Fitz is only going to be good for the first 6 weeks, and then you got to hinge your hopes on Heineke. And I don't know about that, but yeah, it's an interesting one. Then this is where I put my money right here, boys. I would put all my money in a bet for this on the Arizona Cardinals, bro. They DeAndre Hopkins has been planning this. There's literal evidence, bro. He even retweeted it or whatever it is on Instagram. He posted it today. The picture at Michael Irvin's camp with him, AJ Green, and Julio. I think it was from last offseason, if I'm not mistaken. And he basically the caption was, you know, don't forget our conversation that we had here, or something along those lines. And, just in case you forgot, the other guy in that picture, AJ Green, where did he go? To the
Oh,
to the Cardinals. To the Cardinals. And there was other teams calling. He went to the Cardinals. So it's kind of like, and DeAndre Hopkins even went on Twitter and said that he would restructure his contract for Julio Jones. So I'm sitting here like they're putting on the full court press in Arizona right now, bringing in DeAndre Hopkins last season, a couple seasons ago, bringing in Chandler Jones. This year they brought in J.J. Watt and A.J. Green. Like they're going for it. And if you're gonna go for it, bro, fucking go for it, dude. Go all in. You have all these guys that are aging. You clearly are in a win now situation. F your second and third round picks, bro. Send all them shits to Atlanta. All of them. Because Kyler Murray is decent enough at quarterback right now to take this team somewhere if he has all these goddamn players on this team.
yeah.
So I'm pulling for that one.
I mean, just imagine that team. I mean, like, there's no excuse for them not to be in the NFC Championship game if that happens. I mean,
Yeah.
you got J.J. Watt, you got, yeah, I mean, everybody that they've gotten.
Especially with the Packers falling
But
apart.
we were talking before this even aired, and we were just talking about how it could put a lot of pressure on Murray to perform just because, like, he has all these weapons. So,
That's
and then I
true.
was just looking at their run game as well. Like, there's a no name at running back. So, it's really going to be super pass heavy. And, I mean, when you're one dimensional, I mean, I know as a Ravens fan, being one dimensional is not a good thing. So, it's just like, okay, I mean, sure, Kyler Murray is mobile enough to have that be a running game on its own. But I'm just saying, can that team be a winning team if they mainly pass the ball with Kyler Murray every now and then taking off out of the pocket?
Yeah, that's definitely. He's definitely got a lot of pressure. It's going to be the quarterback. Once you're at his age, like, is this going to be his third season or his fourth?
I want to say it's his third.
Yeah, I
Third.
think it's his third. Yeah, I mean, the whole like growing pains thing is kind of over with now. Now it's time to, especially when you're already been good
Yeah.
or decent. It's kind of like okay, like it's the same way that you think that like okay, Sam Darnold come on now, and you think like oh Daniel Jones, let's get it going. It's the same thing with Kyler Murray, bro. You gotta get it going now, especially if you end up with Julio Jones. So, and then we have much like the 49ers, this team is in every fucking trade rumor on the planet Earth. The Raiders. The Raiders, man, almost got Tom Brady. Almost might get Aaron Rodgers. Might get this guy. Might get that guy. Meanwhile, they still have Derek Carr and a bunch of bums over there. But it is a place that people seem to want to go play at. But I just don't know if they have a good enough. Like, would
My
Julio
thing,
Jones want to play for the Raiders, bro?
yeah, that's exactly
That's
what I
the
was going to
question.
get. Like, when you have John Gruden as your head coach, do you even want to go
Yeah,
over there? Like,
that's
I
true.
see
He
what
hasn't
they
done
do in the
anything.
draft year after
Yeah,
year, picking, just reaching for every single thing that they get. And it's
my
just
man,
like,
John Gruden is like. I mean, he won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, and then right after that, the team sucked. He got fired or whatever, and then like he hasn't done anything. What has he done? Like, why is he so highly regarded as a coach? I don't get it.
I
Is
don't
it
know.
because he
I
was good
mean,
as a Monday Night Football
yeah,
analyst?
like
Like,
he
I'm so
made sense
confused.
as an analyst, so like
Yeah,
he just kind of gets like an extra pass when he
that's
has bad seasons.
it's like yeah, he won a Super Bowl with a pretty mediocre Buccaneers like team, but like so a lot of coaches have done like that's not a weird thing. I don't know.
It's not about the coach as much as I would say it's more about the players.
I don't
Like,
think they
yeah, you
respond.
call plays, but at the end of the day, it's the players making those plays work for you.
That's true, and it's kind of like, does John Gruden even have the locker room's attention really? Because that's my main concern.
Not
Um,
discrediting anything that John Gruden has done. I'm just saying, like, that's just how I feel as a person, as an NFL fan. Like,
yeah,
yeah, you can call the plays, but at the end of the day, the players got to make the plays. And it's just if they can do it, they can. It's you just got to know your people. I
yeah.
don't know.
So now we have Jeff's wet dream here
Oh yeah,
with the Baltimore Ravens, who this offseason have been in the conversation for every wide receiver that ever comes available at any reason,
yeah,
but didn't get any of them.
yeah.
so that's why they ended up so low on Vegas's odds, because yeah, they're interested, but they didn't pull the trigger or finalize any of the deals. So it's kind of like, do we expect them to do it here? Take the floor,
I
sir.
mean, realistically, I don't see it happening. I would love to see it happen, guys. I really, really would. But it's just like when just looking at our history of getting veteran pro receivers like such as like Steve Smith, Anquan Bolden, Derek Mason, stuff like that. We haven't really paid these guys no more than wasn't it like 3 million, 3 to 4 million, and
Yeah, it's like
Julio
3 million a
wants
year.
3 million, right? Okay, 3 million, and Julio wants I think 15 plus a signing bonus. Well, I think 5,000. I mean 5 million, not 5,000.
Yeah, his
five
his cap
million.
hits 20. Yeah.
So with that said, it seems that I don't think we're going to spend enough money to ultimately have him block for the Ravens. I mean, yeah, he's going to be obviously if we have Julio, like we're going to make more of a passing game, but it's just in general, I don't see it happening. We haven't done it before, and I would be really I mean, but on the off season, like we were throwing, I think 10 to 15 at Juju, and I think we offered quite a bit to Ty. We offered more for Ty than the Colts did, but he wanted to stay in Indianapolis. So it's just like I see us making moves for wide receivers, but it's just like where's the money going to go? Because I look at our cap situation, and it's not all the. I don't know. It would be different. I've never seen us put money on a wide receiver ever in my life, so it'll be different.
Yeah, the cap situation is rough with having to extend Lamar as well,
Yeah.
because the cap hit. I mean, it's 15-ish million basically for the next 3 years. So it's kind of like, do you have the room for that? I don't know, but that does. I mean, you put Julio, Bateman, and Hollywood out there with the running backs and Lamar, and actually run a balanced offense, 50-50, something like
Yeah.
that. Ravens pretty goddamn good, but we'll
It's
just have
almost
to
like
wait
the
and
same
see.
situation as like the Cardinals, almost like, all right,
True.
Lamar, you got Julio, you got Bateman,
Yeah,
you
that
got,
excuse
like no more excuses.
that excuse
Pass
is
the
valid.
ball.
Not that he needs an excuse, because he's been passing fine for what
Yeah.
he is.
He's got an MVP award under his
But like,
belt,
yeah, but
unlike
like,
Murray, but
yeah, he completes like 65% of his passes. Like, I don't really understand the whole he can't pass thing. But anyways, the excuses in the playoffs is what would have to
that's
stop,
yeah.
because. Yeah. But then we have another. Once again, always in the goddamn conversation is the Cowboys. Not happening. Um, most for any the main reason is because they don't need a wide receiver at all.
No.
Like, that's the last thing they need to spend $15 million on, is a wide receiver, when you have Gallup, CeeDee Lamb. God, who else do they
Amari
have? I'm
Cooper.
already Cooper, exactly. Like, they don't need this, bro. I'm not
They
even gonna talk
definitely
about
don't need
them.
it.
This is why I said, like, after the Ravens, the next four are kind of like just there so you can put some money in and see if you win big. Especially this one, the Saints. Hell no. Why would the Falcons just send Julio down the street to the Saints? Like, come on, bro. That's not happening. Now, first of all, I would nut if we pulled that off. And also, on top of that, the Falcons would be simply the dumbest franchise in the NFL for doing that. Oh, you want to guard Julio twice a year now? Congratulations. Now you have to find a way to guard Michael Thomas and Julio Jones. Not happening. No chance. I'm not even going to even think about it. Lions, he wants to win. Skip. And then they're just gonna throw the Buccaneers on here. That's the last one they threw on here. Buccaneers plus 4,500 odds, because it's not happening. Isn't plus 4,500? I might be wrong about how betting works. Is that if you put
I think
$100 in, what do you win on a 4,500 plus?
don't know.
I can't
I
remember how that
mean,
works exactly. I
I,
think I think if you put 100 in on a 175, you make you get it would be one. So I think it's times 1.75 if I'm not mistaken. So you'd
Something
make
like that.
175 total. So this
I
would
mean-
be times four. I don't know. You
I
all
don't
let me know
know.
in the comment section.
But
You might
here's the
make, like,
craziest thing about that Buccaneers
4,500.
thing. It's just like I actually see it happening in a little bit. And I'll tell you
Oh
why.
jeez.
So it's just like, all right, what other Falcons wide receiver wants to go play with Tom Brady? Mohamed Sanu. So it's just like, there's already been a history of Falcons receivers wanting to play with Tom Brady. So like maybe Julio wants to do the same thing because he wants to win. Buccaneers are win now. They brought everybody back from the Super Bowl team. So I mean, if you're thinking about a team and you want to go win now and you're getting older, I mean the Buccaneers. I don't know. I see it happening.
If he goes to
It's
the
small.
Buccaneers, if he goes to the Buccaneers, you're doing the podcast by yourself for the year because I'm not watching football. What's the point?